Like 12.5 to 13 kilometres, so 1.5 laps will get you 20. We're going to do 220s, so the first 220s I'll be set up here. I actually might move the car over closer to the road. You do 1.5 and then you come in and then we'll take some lactate, and essentially basically the whole purpose of this morning is to work out exactly where your numbers should be for race day so that there's no more guesswork. We've only got 3 or 4 weeks to race you, even less. So 20k lap, come in. If you've got average heart rate, power and speed for that lap, great. If not, I'll get that data off the Training Peaks later. I'll take a lactate reading. You'll only have like 1 to 2 minutes and then you're off again. So if you need to refuel with nutrition, that's your chance to do that. It doesn't really matter if there's much break. This isn't about racing as such, it's about dialing in numbers. Don't need to be a stickler for those numbers, just the power. Yeah, I think we'll actually end up touching the short. Bleed.
Like aerobic?
You say 218 watts?
No, 220. Yeah, 218 watts. You get your bottle sorted? Yeah. There we go.
Right. Yeah, Geelong's going to be similar. Yeah, where you've got that, some false flats and some not climbs, but rolling. Yeah, cool. So that's good. Alright, another 20. 220, 240 range, another 20. Okay.
Show me I don't need nobody, just need your body. Show me that soul sweet like honey, don't need no talking, just need your body. Your loving on me makes me feel special. No heaven on earth if I can't be with you. Swim me your eyes so I can tell the truth.
Give it a proper, really good.
Yeah. Fine.
Yeah.
What are you holding pace-wise, speed-wise?
That was 40k that last 50 step.
Yeah.
Loving this setup now.
A huge difference.
Yeah, from 35.5 to I'm averaging 38.2 for the whole ride.
In January, I think.
Yeah,
as well.
I think 222, the average for that whole ride. Yeah. So you can get a 2. Yeah.
I got so high, oh I can't leave. I got your body all over my mind. I got so high, I'm off my feet. We up in the clouds with the sun in our eyes.
What's your choice today, Alex?
Alphas.
They've been alright running off the bike?
Yeah, they're fine.
Haven't been too unstable?
Nah. No, I run my marathon in them, so.
Just finished up on the bike, average 38.2 kilometers an hour. It's getting warm, about 225 watts, so right where we need to be. Just getting ready for the run, trying to find some shade. We've got 1.5 scoops of endurance fuel, handheld bottle, 1 gel, 1 maple gel, and we're ready to send it. Let's go.
Let's fucking go.
All right, my man, I'll give you this back. right now, we're fucked. So 1.25 out? Yeah. And then we're going to lactate at 2.5 or 5? 2.5. Alright. See you out there.
Translate that more for next, not next Sunday, but for race day.
Yeah.
Because that will be a better indication of the intensity rather than pace.
Yeah, it's 30 degrees.
Exactly.
All right, 2.5 again.
So do the same again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
It's pretty nasty.
Yeah, it's a good one.
No wonder you're short.
Yeah.
It's significant.
Yeah, it's a good patch of skin, like another one there that would
Done
be
skin.
sort of 10 by 10
Let's
to
go.
start with.
All right, team, we've just wrapped up the race sim, so big thanks to Josh for putting it on this morning. So we had 80 Ks on the bike, and then we had 7.5 Ks running before we shut it down just because of the heat. And Josh was nice enough to bring out his LT test, so we can get some numbers to see where we're at for race. So yeah, Josh, you want to run through roughly where we're at?
Yeah. We started sort of at the low end of where we think Alex's bike power for race day is, and then as we went through each lap, building that bike power and taking lactate readings so we can work out exactly where his race day power numbers are. We've ended up somewhere around that 230 mark in terms of power numbers for race day, which is an improvement of probably 5 to 10 watts since we did this 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, definitely.
And then you take off another 5, 10, 15 watts of effort with the upgrades that Alex has made on the bike.
Yeah.
And it's looking like something like around the 220 to 225 bike ride at Geelong if you put it all together and fuel well. And that was the other important part that you were fueling today.
Yeah, 90 grams carbs per hour, 750 ml water, 750 milligrams sodium. Felt really good, yeah.
And obviously Geelong is going to be much cooler than it is here at the moment.
Yeah.
So we take all those numbers and like it's relative to the conditions. And we'll have a closer look at the heart rate, compare it and triangulate it with the power data and the lactate data when I go back and look at the numbers later to make sure that it is spot on. Because essentially we want to leave all the guesswork out for race day. Yeah. Race day is just hitting the numbers. And then on the run it was similar. So 2.5 kilometre laps. We shut it down after 2 though, basically, because it did get too hot. And we had the data that we needed. The point of today wasn't necessarily to be a big stimulus. We've had plenty of big stimulus, plenty of big training already.
Yep.
It's more about dialing in the numbers. And we were pretty confident, you were pretty confident around about 4 minute Ks is going to be right anyway. That was too much today.
Yeah.
The lactate reading started to hit LT2, that second threshold, at which point too, that was a decision to shut it down. At that point, we didn't need to do any more, but we got the important information that we needed. And we'll, again, like with the run, we'll go back and check the heart rate data, make sure that it triangulates well with the pace data and where we were with those lactate readings, and have a final race plan. Like I said, is relative to the conditions too. You're running on the flat today, there's some hills on the Geelong course, and obviously the conditions are much cooler down there too.
Yeah. T numbers, Josh, where are we at for the bike and also the run?
Well, what we're aiming for is something that's probably just above your aerobic threshold. So without having done any other lactate testing with you, it's a bit of guesswork. But as a basic rule, something around 2 millimoles would be around about aerobic threshold.
On the bike and the run, or?
Both, yep. It doesn't matter, it's relative. So you were around about 1.7 millimoles at your max on the bike.
Yep.
So, you know, right around your aerobic threshold, which is perfect from the bike. I think you probably have some more in you,
Yep.
but you probably don't quite have the conditioning, endurance-wise on the bike to be able to sustain it for 90 kilometres.
Yeah.
Whereas on the run, we were hitting mid-2, so like a 2.6 millimole on that last test,
Yeah.
which is right where you want to be for a 70.3. But when you get into that second half,
It would start to go up.
absolutely.
And that's why we called it.
Yep, exactly. So like heat stress, the general stimulus, that last 5 to 10k, you're going to be hitting LT2.
Yeah.
But
Not worth it for here.
not for the training, but that's
Yeah.
where you'll be for race day.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Just drink some Coke and get through it.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. And then, we've got to back it up tomorrow with a duathlon.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, let's do it.
Nice
I appreciate it, mate.
Cheers,
let's go. So that's a wrap on the race simulation we did on Saturday. So really good to get out there and hold race pace, race power on the bike, 225-ish watts, and really get to see where my blood lactate levels are at. Really good to see that we're right where we want it to be, just under our aerobic threshold, so I don't go out too hard. That's going to ruin my chances of holding a decent pace on the run. But yeah, before we wrap up day one, I just want to talk about fueling, because I think it's just as important as the training to really make sure you're optimizing and locking everything in with your numbers on that. So on the morning before we even got there, about an hour and a half beforehand, I had 60 grams of these rice bubbles with 150 mils of milk, which gave me straight away around 60 grams of carbohydrate. Then I paired that with 1.5 scoops of our endurance fuel, which I was sipping on right up until we started the event. So total carbs would have put me at about 90 grams of carbs and 750 milligrams of sodium, which gave me a good head start on my numbers for the day. Then when we went out on the bike, I had 2 decent sized bottles. I think they're about 750 mils per bottle. And I had 1.5 scoops of endurance fuel, or 750 milligrams of sodium in each bottle. And then I was using maple gels in a flask as well. I think I had about 120 mils of maple. So that's about 120 grams of carbohydrates from the maple plus 60 grams from the endurance fuel, giving me about 180 grams total over a 2-hour bike ride, is 90 grams per hour. And that's kind of the sweet spot that I found for me, and 750 milligrams of sodium per hour. Fluids, I was probably getting in 700 mils, which in the heat that we were training in on Saturday, I probably could have pushed that up closer to a litre per hour, but in Geelong, it's going to be much cooler. So I probably only need 700 to 800 mils per hour. Moving on to the run leg, I had one more maple gel that I crushed after the first 2.5 kilometers. And then I had our handheld bottle here, which is an absolute game changer, with 1.5 scoops of endurance fuel. By the time we were running, it was already 30 degrees. So this was an absolute savior for me. And yeah, I pretty much use it on any run up here in North Queensland that's longer than 70 minutes, just because it's too bloody hot and I'm sweating like an absolute dog. So that's going to wrap up day one, and let's move into day two. So moving on to Sunday morning, we had a duathlon down in Yorkeys Knob, and this was my first ever multisport event, and it was a lot of fun. It was held by the Cairns Crocs Triathlon community, and they did a bloody great job. So the event consisted of a 5k run into a 20k bike ride into a 2.5 kilometer run. So definitely my forte, no swimming, so I could get out there nice and hot on the run and try give myself a good start. So I don't know how, but somehow I managed to come second overall and first in my age group. So first bloody ribbon and trophy since high school days. Let's go. So in terms of pacing, I didn't really know how hot to go out on the run, because I've never really rode after a hard run. So I decided 340 minutes per kilometer would be the sweet spot for me. So that's exactly what I did. Put me for the first 5k at about 18:20 or somewhere along those lines. Straight out onto the bike, managed to hold 40.2 kilometers per hour, or 260 watts. I managed to catch a leader in the last 2 kilometers of the bike ride, a young absolute weapon. Couldn't catch him on the run, and yeah, within getting into transition, as soon as I got in there, I tried to take it off my shoes and he was already in, racked his bike and had left again, so I had no chance of catching him on that last 2.5k run, but still push hard to the finish line. And yeah, I think I averaged 3 minutes 30 per kilometer for the last 2.5k for a full send finish. I think it was such a good experience to get out there and actually try a multi-sport event before just going straight into my 70.3, like practicing things like the transitions. Even on the bike, I lost my water bottle, didn't have a rubber band holding it down within the first lap, so obviously had no fluids on the bike. Then on the second lap, my toolkit fell off the back over the speed bumps, got caught in my wheel, so I didn't have any toolkit or any water, so thank fuck I didn't get a puncture, or that would have been game over for me. So these little things that you don't really appreciate in training until it happens on race day. And now I can obviously get a game plan to make sure everything's strapped in properly. Then similarly, I didn't realize how slow I was in transitions to lose that much time. So that's something I definitely got to work on. So come race day, there's no downtime and we're just in and we're out nice and efficient. So team, we're going to wrap up the vlog there. So hopefully you enjoyed this one. Let me know what you want to see next. But yeah, we've got 3 weeks left till Geelong 70.3. So a couple more weeks of hard work and then we're going to taper down and send it in Geelong. Let's go.